Both the interior and exterior of Pafidis' Maybach 62 are covered in gold. Talk about extravagant. Not everyone can afford a gold-plated supercar like Turki bin Abdullah, but it's actually possible to take a ride in one even if you're strapped for cash. London-based taxi service MyWhip actually offers passengers a chance to be chauffeured around in a gold-plated supercar. It's entirely up to chance, though. There's a 1 in 100 chance of being picked up in a gold supercar like a McLaren or Lamborghini. Looks like Turki bin Abdullah isn't the only one traveling in style. Here's an interesting fact. Did you know that Turki bin Abdullah has a pet cheetah? He even lets the big cat sit passenger side in his supercars. We wonder how he keeps the fast cat calm when he's cruising down the streets. Bin Abdullah is not the only wealthy Middle Eastern billionaire who owns a big cat. Lions, tigers, and cheetahs are extremely popular with uber-wealthy royals in the Persian Gulf.
Gold cars, $50 million dowry, $500 million divorces, and real gold C-3POs are just some of the ways Arab royalty flex their billions. Dubai's president, Abu Dhabi's emir, and supreme commander of the United Arab Emirates' army, Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, flashes cash in one of the world's flashiest cities. To stand out in the city with the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, you have to do some spending. $15 billion is the bankroll as of the end of 2021, and here are some of the purchases. Cars, 200 of them. He has a bullet and bomb-proof $1.2 million Audi A8 LM and a purple $147,500 Mercedes-Benz A63. In terms of Lamborghinis, he has 7 Gallardos, 13 Huracans, and 21 Aventadors. There's a hefty McLaren section in Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan's garage, 13 P1s, and 24 720Ss. He's got 7 LaFerraris. Whoa. Those go for $1.5 to $7 million apiece. A Koenigsegg Lykan Hypersport, many Mercedes and Paganis, as well as many other models of the aforementioned brands. The grand total estimated value of his total collection? $100 million. $120 million of the United Arab Emirates' second president goes to a private jet, the RS-860 Karori. It seats 5 in an uber-comfortable throne room-type setup in the cabin, and just on the other side of the partition is a California king bed for long naps filled with dreams in Technicolor. Is there more? Well, with these guys, there's always more. Sheikh Khalifa owns the world's largest yacht, the Azam. The 590-foot ultra-sleek vessel costs an estimated $605 million. The construction, operation, and maintenance of this massive private ship by Germany's Lürssen Yachts has created jobs for over 4,000 people. Its impressive size makes it almost comparable to a cruise ship. Sheikh Khalifa occasionally stays at Ascot Place in Windsor Great Park in Britain. He bought it in 1989 for $23.7 million from Mick Flick. You know, the Mercedes-Benz heir. Its 400 acres are surely worth quite a bit more than that now. And the lake, grotto, and estate cottages must be a pleasant change from the sandstorms as well as the hustle and bustle of Dubai. But apparently, the English water was not quite up to royal standards, so he had underground tanks installed and had them filled with the mineral water from the spa town of Evian-les-Bains in the French Alps. Not coincidentally, this is where a great many other Abu Dhabi royals live. Gotta keep up, right? His famous neighbor at Ascot Place, the Queen at Windsor Castle. Oh, you know, the lady on all that Canadian money. His ties to Britain don't end there, with $5 billion of his cash being tied to owning prime English real estate and has over 1,000 tenants. He owns more square feet of living space in London than the Duke of Westminster. You know, Prince George of Cambridge's godfather, that guy. Dubai's VP and Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has pretty fat pockets himself. One of his biggest expenses, $500 million to his ex-wife Princess Haya of Jordan. Probably spent too much time out falcon hunting. Hope it was worth it. Sheikh Mohammed rolls around in a $250,000 white G63 AMG Mercedes number 1, meaning it was the first one off the production line. But that's worth pennies compared to his golden car collection. He's got a $5.8 million gold Porsche 918 Spyder, a gold $7.5 million Lamborghini Aventador, a $9.6 million gold Mercedes-AMG 63 truck, a $3.2 million gold Land Rover Vogue, a $1.4 million gold Godzilla Nissan GTR, which looks like it belongs on a serving tray, a $3.2 million gold Ferrari 360 Modena, an $8.2 million gold Rolls-Royce Phantom drop-head coupe, and the crown jewel, a customized 24-karat Rolls-Royce that looks like it belongs in a Batman film, which costs a whopping $14.2 million. I wonder if racing purist Ettore Bugatti would be spinning in his grave if he saw Sheikh Mohammed's $9.2 million gold Bugatti Veyron. Personally, I prefer his $10 million candy cane red and white Veyron Pegaso edition. Like the Rolling Stones, Sheikh Mohammed loves horses. So much so, he founded the global racing team Godolphin and its highly successful stallion operation Darley. They have farms in Kentucky, England, Ireland, and Australia, and have over 100 racehorses worth well over $8 million, including horse racing Hall of Famer Hartnell. He celebrates his horse racing victories on his $400 million yacht named after his country, Dubai. The world's third largest private yacht at 531 feet has a lobster tank and a disco, perfect for a night of bisque and breakdancing. These Arab billionaires know how to party. But okay, enough about Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's gold. Let's move on. The Emir of Qatar has more money than Queen Elizabeth, with a $2.1 billion fortune. Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani rules with absolute monarchy. And while some people treat themselves to Baskin and Robbins when they want to spoil themselves, Qatar's ruler treats himself to listening to Rick Ross's Maybach music in one of his dozen Benz S600 Maybach luxury sedans worth $516,000 apiece. He switches it up with his white $91,400 Lexus LX 570, 3 Bentley Bentegas of $240,000 per unit, and for that show-stopping attention, a $500,000 Bentley Mulsanne limo. Okay, it's only a third of the price of Joe Biden's beast, but it's a lot prettier. When it comes to gift giving, there's generous, and then there's this guy. He gives presents worth more than the Buffalo Sabres NHL franchise. He gave the Turkish president Recep Tayyip Erdogan a $400 million private jet, a Boeing 747-8. Inside it has a stateroom, a boardroom, and a hospital. It was to confirm Thani's special love for Erdogan. I wonder what the Turkish president got the emir in return. When Busta Rhymes rapped about Arab money, he was probably talking about people like Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani and his $500 million Al Lusail yacht. Look, we like Busta Rhymes, but Busta Bus could barely afford to fill the tank with his $20 million net worth, as this 400-foot, 800-ton sea behemoth is the epitome of opulence. It's only the 33rd largest private vessel in the world. Earlier we saw numero uno, the Azam, but it may be the most luxurious with its European-styled furnishings, wood and leather trims, and extravagant staterooms. The Alauite dynasty king, Mohammed VI, is the current king of Morocco. One of the richest kings in the world with an estimated net worth of $5 billion, His Majesty gets to live in the royal palace in Rabat. Its entrance is fit for a giant, and the king's personal mosque is an ideal place for moments of peace, as well as to take in top-shelf Moroccan architecture. Its classy mausoleum houses a marble casket that holds King Mohammed V, who died in 1961. Even the Pope was pretty impressed, and you've seen where that guy lives. Forbes reported that the palace costs $960,000 a day to operate, including personal expenses, clothing, and automotive repair costs. Yeah, Rolls-Royce and Mercedes S600 W100 repairs don't come cheap, let's be honest. Nicknamed the King of the Poor by his entourage thanks to his efforts to ease the burden of poverty of his people, King Mohammed VI flies to France in his private $600 million plus Boeing 747-400 to his getaway home just around the corner from the Eiffel Tower, which he bought for $94 million. He bought it from the Saudi royal family, whom we'll get to in not very long. Real estate in France's capital goes for an average of $1,345.81 per square foot. So you know, at $94 million, it's a massive mansion. 12 bedrooms, a swimming pool, a games room, a private garden, and private parking round out the purchase. With Paris parking spots costing around $40 grand, it'd be nice to have one in the heart of the City of Light. Although the monarchy was abolished in Egypt in 1953, Nassef Sawiris is an Egyptian billionaire wealthy enough to be pharaoh. With a current net worth of 8.1 billion, he is the second richest man in Africa after Aliko Dangote of Nigeria. With his cash, the Cairo kingpin bought himself a $70 million co-op in the world's priciest city in terms of real estate, New York City. The purchase of 960 Fifth Avenue for that price is the largest deal for a co-op in that city's history, topping David Geffen's $54 million Fifth Avenue purchase in 2012. Now that he lives right next to Macy's, he has 5 fireplaces for Santa to come down, 14 rooms for him to wander through to look for cookies, and a wraparound terrace so he can look down at Central Park and pretend he's watching a live-action version of Friends, or Sex and the City if that's his thing. The details on this family's Cairo property is a very tightly kept secret. He drives a relatively conservative $52,000 2019 Audi Q5. A little boring compared to the other cars we've seen in this video, but he makes up for it with his 240-foot Yala yacht, worth a hefty $80 million. And not just one, but 2 Gulfstream G650 private jets, worth a hefty $70 million apiece. That's more like it. Oh, how nice it would be to be able to sit on a couch while flying to New York City. Nothing like it, really. If you factor in all the wealth of all 15,000 members of Saudi's royal family, you're looking at 1.4 trillion. That crushes the British royal family's 28 billion. When most people talk in the trillions, they're talking about something to do with computer science or the wealth of entire first world nations, not a family. The oil juggernauts' bank accounts are mainly fueled by Saudi Aramco, and a lot of it is spent to keep you looking and keeping your eyes green with envy. Golden tissue boxes are just the tip of the iceberg. Let's start with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He ponied up $450.3 million for Salvator Mundi. That's an original painting by Leonardo da Vinci, by the way. At 3 different times, this painting has belonged to 3 different kings of England. It's nicknamed Jesus Christ, making it an oddly ironic purchase for someone of Muslim descent. Also known as MBS, Mohammed bin Salman paid $300 million for the world's most expensive home, France's Chateau Louis XIV. Royals seem to like to follow the footsteps of royals. In the same way Hollywood kingpin David Geffen set his sights and succeeded in living in movie mogul Jack L. Warner's Beverly Hills mansion, MBS succeeded in living in Louis the Great's castle. It's got a labyrinth like the house in The Shining, a farm, and a veggie garden. It's got a great many statues of a great many French nationals and a real gold statue of Star Wars' C-3PO? Okay. And the gold doesn't stop there. It's all over the house and adorns the massive fountain at the front gate. The number of bedrooms, 10. The amenities, like the pool and indoor cinema with reclining red leather seats, might I add. The wine cellar, all not too bad. But the icing on the cake, it's the moat that surrounds the property that gives it that timeless look of "we got money over here," along with a transparent underwater chamber to boot. You can slip downstairs to marvel at the fish on leather couches as you ponder your next major move. What's next for MBS and the Saudi royal family? Will they wish to buy the moon like George Bailey did in It's a Wonderful Life? If it was for sale, they'd buy it. But when you're that rich, you buy things that aren't for sale. MBS has been trying to buy Manchester United for quite some time and may be on the market to buy Newcastle United from the Premier League. They play, you know that video game, Club Manager, but in real life. What else when the world is not enough? Weddings are another way to burn up Saudi Arabian rials. 2017's royal wedding of 62-year-old Saudi Prince Sultan bin Salman to a 25-year-old bride with a never-ending dress was quite expensive. The convoy was 50 white Range Rovers long, white being the color of the king. The dowry to the bride and her family was a rumored $50 million, and the money apparently arrived in 30 or so suitcases off a bus that probably should have been a Brinks truck. Other gifts came off a chariot fit for Cinderella. The lavish ceremony took place at the Four Seasons Hotel in Kuwait at Burj Al Shaya. The gifts were diamonds, and more diamonds. Most upper echelon millionaires and billionaires fly in small to mid-sized private jets. The Saud family kicks it up a notch. Prince Al Wahid flies high in a luxury 747. Fueling it up ain't no problem when you've got a quarter of the Earth's known oil supply. The master bedroom, yeah, there's a master bedroom on the plane, has a shower that's, well, made of gold. And the king bed has white linens and at least 10 pillows. The